Trust is the invisible foundation of the modern world. We trust that the numbers in our bank accounts represent reality. We trust that the paper in our wallets holds value. But history is a graveyard of broken promises. Every civilization believed its currency was eternal, until the moment it wasn't. From the Roman denarius to the British pound, and now the US dollar money has always been a tool of power. But what happens when that power is abused? What happens when the guardians of the system become its greatest threat? In 2008, the world found out. This is not just a story about technology. This is a story about the greatest shift in human power since the invention of the printing press. This is the story of Bitcoin. The air in Manhattan was thick with panic. On September 15, 2008, Lehman Brothers, an institution that had survived world wars and depressions, filed for bankruptcy. It was a $600 billion collapse. The dominoes began to fall. AIG, Merrill Lynch, Bear Stearns, the titans of Wall Street were trembling. The global financial system, a complex web of debt and derivatives, was revealed to be a house of cards. Behind closed doors, central bankers made a choice that would change history. They decided to print. They called it quantitative easing, a sophisticated term for creating money out of thin air. They saved the banks, but they devalued the labor of every human being on the planet. The seeds of revolution were planted in the soil of betrayal. While the headlines screamed about bailouts, a quiet message was sent to a small group of radicals known as the cypherpunks. October 31, 2008. An anonymous entity named Satoshi Nakamoto released a document. It wasn't a business plan. It was a masterpiece of math and logic. Satoshi proposed a system where we didn't need to trust banks. We only needed to trust the laws of mathematics. For decades, computer scientists had tried to create digital cash, but they all failed because they relied on a central server. If there is a center, there is a target. Governments can shut down a server. They can jail a CEO. Satoshi's breakthrough was the blockchain, a system where no one is in charge, and therefore, everyone is in charge. He didn't build a company. He released a virus of truth into a world of financial lies. On a cold winter day, the first block of the Bitcoin network was mined. Satoshi included a message in the code, a permanent middle finger to the failing system. The Times 3. Jan 2009 Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. This was more than a date. It was a verdict. It was a declaration that the era of central banking was over. For the first time in history, we had a form of money that was completely independent of the state. No permission needed. No borders to cross, just code. Pure, unadulterated math. For the first few months, the network was just Satoshi and a few brave souls like Hal Finney, a legendary developer who received the first ever Bitcoin transaction. At that time, Bitcoin had no market value. It was traded for fun. It was a digital experiment. But the experiment was about to collide with reality. Every legend has its turning point. In May 2010, the first real-world transaction occurred. 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. Laszlo Hanyecz made history. He proved that this magic internet money could buy energy in the form of food. As the price moved from a fraction of a cent to $1, the world began to take notice. Then came the first wave of controversy. The Silk Road, speculation, the collapse of MT, Gox, where hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins were lost or stolen. The media seized on this, branding Bitcoin as the currency of criminals. But they ignored the irony. The largest criminal enterprises in history have always used the US dollar. Then came the fall of MT, Gox in 2014. 85% of all Bitcoin trading vanished overnight. It was the first of many deaths. Bitcoin was declared dead at $10, at $100, and at $1,000. But like a digital hydra, every time one head was cut off, 2 more grew in its place. It was becoming antifragile. It thrived on chaos. The most important number in the world is 21 million. In a world where governments print trillions, Bitcoin is limited. It is the first truly scarce asset in human history. You can find more gold if you dig deep enough. You can print more dollars. But you can never, ever create a 21 millionth and 1 Bitcoin. This scarcity is the gravity of the new financial system. It forces us to think about the future. It rewards those who save. It punishes those who gamble. We are moving from a debt-based economy to a truth-based economy. This is the orange pill. The realization that money should be a store of value, not a tool for political manipulation. The halving events, every 4 years, further reinforce the scarcity, cutting the supply of new Bitcoin in half. This creates inevitable supply shocks, reminding a world accustomed to infinite money that true value is finite. In 2017, a civil war broke out within the Bitcoin community. It was the block size war. Powerful miners and big corporations wanted to change the code to make Bitcoin more like a credit card company. They wanted speed over security. They wanted to centralize control. But the small blockers, the ordinary users, the true decentralists fought back. They realized that if you sacrifice decentralization for speed, you become the very thing you are trying to replace. The users won. This proved that no one, not even the richest miners, can control Bitcoin. It was the moment Bitcoin truly became unstoppable. It wasn't just code anymore. It was a resilient social movement, a collective declaration of monetary independence. The network itself became a political battleground, where the power of the individual ultimately triumphed over corporate interests. While Westerners debate Bitcoin on Twitter, people in the global South are using it to survive. In Venezuela, where inflation is a death sentence, where paper money is cheaper than toilet paper, Bitcoin is a shield. It protects families from economic annihilation. In Nigeria, during the End SARS protests, the government froze the bank accounts of activists. Within hours, the world sent Bitcoin directly to them, bypassing censorship. The protests continued. For these people, Bitcoin is not a volatile speculation. It is a peaceful protest against tyranny. It is the first time in history that a refugee can carry their entire life's wealth in their head, simply by remembering 12 words. Bitcoin is the separation of money and state, and for billions of people, that is the difference between freedom and slavery. It offers a lifeline, a glimmer of hope in the darkest economic corners of the world. For over a decade, Wall Street CEOs scoffed at Bitcoin. Jamie Dimon called it a fraud. Larry Fink, before his conversion, dismissed it as an index of money laundering. But then, something changed. They realized they couldn't stop it. In 2024, the giants surrendered. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, launched a Bitcoin ETF. Billions of dollars began to flow into the network from pensions, 401ks, and institutional portfolios. Some purists worrying that the suits will ruin Bitcoin, but they miss the beauty of the protocol. BlackRock must play by Satoshi's rules. They cannot print more. They cannot change the 21 million limit. Bitcoin is the Trojan horse. Wall Street thought they were adopting Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is actually absorbing Wall Street. The hunter has become the prey. The very pillars of the old financial system are now forced to build on the foundation of the new. We are now entering the era of hyper-utility. With the Lightning Network, Bitcoin can now handle millions of transactions per second for the cost of a fraction of a cent. It is becoming the internet of value. Imagine a world where you can send money to someone in Tokyo as easily as you send a text message. No banks. No waiting 3 days for a wire transfer. No $30 fees. This is the end of the middleman. We are moving toward a world of micropayments where you can pay for content per second of video or a kilobyte of data. The efficiency gains for humanity will be as large as the transition from physical mail to instant email. The speed and scalability once thought impossible for Bitcoin are now a reality, opening doors to unprecedented global commerce and financial inclusion. Bitcoin changes you. When you realize that your money cannot be debased, your time preference changes. You stop buying useless things. You start thinking about 10, 20, 50 years into the future, you become a builder instead of a consumer. The orange pill is the realization that we have been living in a monetary prison. We have been forced to run faster and faster just to stay in the same place because our money is designed to fail. Bitcoin breaks those chains. It allows you to store your life's energy in a vessel that doesn't leak. It is a return to sound money, the foundation of every golden age in human history. It forces introspection, asking us what true value is, and how we measure our own time and effort in a world increasingly untethered from reality. Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared in 2011. He left no instructions, no leader, and no ego. He gave the world a gift and then walked away. Today, Bitcoin is maintained by a global army of developers, nodes, and miners who believe in a better future. The old world is built on debt, secrecy, and central control. The new world is built on equity, transparency, and personal responsibility. The bridge between these two worlds is Bitcoin. The journey will be long. There will be more volatility. There will be more government attempts to regulate it. But you cannot kill a mathematical truth. The quiet revolution is over. The roar of the new world is here. 21 million. No exceptions. No bailouts. No lies. The choice is yours. Will you stay on the sinking ship of the old world? Or will you join the architects of the new one? History is watching, and the code is still running.